welcome to today's video where I will be covering Week 3, Day 4 of the LPL, Week 3, Day 2 of the LCK. So this is the final day, I believe, before they go on their break for both regions, and I won't be covering them for a while. As I do every day, I cover the 4 major regions. I take notes on the games. These aren't meant for you to be able to read necessarily. Like, you can obviously read the score lines 22-12 or 2-1, or maybe the records 3-3, whatever. But the notes are more for me to be able to break down the game for you in a format that is a lot quicker than, say, a 3-game series that takes multiple hours for you to watch. So let's get started. The first series was between Top and OMG. Both are ranked similarly in my power rankings. OMG started 3-0, are now on a 3-game losing streak. Top is one of the best teams in the region, yet are 2-2 and struggling. So, as you can see here, OMG 2-0'd them, and it was pretty convincing. And I'm going to get into why. So the first game started, Top threw the first punch, going mid lane to try and get an advantage, and they would execute on that. They got Cream into a significant hole in the first game. Ganking early, Knight solo killed him. That turned into an Infernal. And then they would 2-0. They'd be up 2-0. And then go to mid again at 13 minutes where a trade of kills occurred. So, right now, Top is investing all this into mid lane. And OMG around the rest of the Rift are gaining advantages. They have a slight gold lead. And then at 15 minutes, there is a fight that decides the first game pretty much. OMG won the fight 4-3 in the jungle. Cream with a triple kill. So now all the effort that Top put into mid is out the window. Cream has 3 kills. Jackie Love has 2 for Top. 17 minutes, the next team fight. OMG went 2-1 to take the Hextech Drake. Abel with the double kill. Then he would follow that up a minute later in a fight for Rift Herald that was won 4-1 by OMG. So now Abel is going off. Both carries for OMG in a matter of 4 minutes have went from a hole to way ahead. Now we're at 20 minutes. The score is 10-8, 11-8. The team is up 4K gold, and Cream is 5-3-6. So 11-8. He has 100% kill participation. He ends up being the MVP. Despite Abel ending up with over 10 kills in this game, Cream shows up in both games in a big way, coming back from that deficit, showing the ability to carry a game. Where Knight is arguably the best mid laner in the world to some people, and definitely in the top 5, at maybe top 3. He cannot carry Top right now. Top is just a weight that he cannot carry. OMG would take a Cloud. They would eventually go to Soul Point. There was a lot of Baron dancing for the next 10 minutes after the 20-minute period where OMG are up and all that hectic stuff happened. 28 minutes, OMG would take the Baron in their team fight win 4-1. Abel with the triple kill. That gave them an 8K gold lead, and they ended the game off of that. Only a couple minutes later, Abel with a quadra kill. Like I said, he ends up with at least 11 kills listed here. He might have had 12. Final score is 22-12. Like I said, the Top tried really hard in the early game and ended up not paying off for them at that one Rift Herald fight. That one jungle fight at 15 minutes. And then the Rift Herald fight afterwards, a couple minutes later, really just solidified it. Game 2, OMG would get a kill in bot lane at 4 minutes. And also dive bot right after. So OMG invested a lot into the bot lane to get Abel ahead. 9 minutes, OMG would win a fight for Rift Herald 2-1. We're already 10 minutes in. There's been 2 things of significance. Actually, there were 3. There was a Drake fight. I'm getting too excited here. I really like OMG this year. I mean, they're up and down. They're a young team, a growing team, and I'm getting excited. So at 6 minutes, Top took a Drake. OMG won the fight afterwards, 3-2. Cream with the double kill. Once again, Cream showing up. They win that fight for Rift Herald, like I mentioned, out of order, 2-1. So now at 10 minutes, they're up 7-3 and 2K gold. They turn that into a Cloud. Eventually, they get a soul in this game. 18 minutes, a fight that OMG wins 4-2, very similar to how this game occurred. At the 15-minute mark, both games were decided. Cream with a triple kill here, once again, at the same time, turns into another Hextech. They're up 11-5 and 5K gold at 18 minutes. Cream is 5-0-2 on LeBlanc. The next 8 minutes, really, nothing happens. OMG takes a soul point uncontested. The soul, they end up winning 2-0, team fight win to get it. They take an uncontested Baron right after that with a 7.5K gold lead. And then they end through top right after that, pretty much. Final score is 15-6. This really didn't change anything in terms of perception, in my opinion. Top is still a complete chaotic mess. That's all this confirms to me, because they are very good. They are very good on paper. I mean, with the players they have, this is unacceptable how they're performing, and the new year is going to give them a break that they desperately need. OMG confirms to me that they have the ability to do this, and they have the ability to get the crap beat out of them by EDG. Like, they're in that range. And maybe by the end of summer, we're looking at a team that might sneak into 4th place in the region, because they're showing the ability here to be able to take on anybody. But, I mean, against EDG, they struggled, so what are you going to do? Second series, RNG, BLG, 3 games. As you can see here, RNG take it. So let's get started. BLG gets a kill in bot lane in the 2v2 to start the game. The teams would trade Drakes. The early game in game excuse me. The early game in game 1 and game 2 is very slow. Despite there being a 2v2 kill early, there would be 2 Drakes taken, and then at 17 minutes was the next time there was a kill in the game. It was a 1-to-1 fight in River that also included, in addition to that, Bin getting a solo kill on Breathe in the top lane in the Gwen-Jax matchup. Bin ends up being the MVP in this game. I'll get to why as we go over this and explain it. But here he already shows up with a solo kill. RNG take a Mountain. Eventually they take the Mountain Soul in this game. 20 minutes, the game is only 2-2. RNG's up 1K. RNG go to Soul Point uncontested. So BLG aren't contesting these Drakes, and that's a problem, I mean, throughout the whole series. RNG can push their gold lead because BLG aren't contesting them to 3.5K. They take a Baron after a 2-0 team fight win. They can't do anything with it. I mean, BLG do. BLG takes the Baron at 26 minutes after a 2-0 team fight win. They get a glimpse of hope. RNG take that away when they take the Soul at 29 minutes. In a fight, they win 4-0. Zhao Hu with a double kill on Corki. So RNG then go turn that in the next team fight 5 minutes later into a Baron, which went even 2-2. But RNG had a 5K gold lead off of that, and they ended directly after that. The next time they pushed down mid lane, they won 4-1 and ended the game. The final score is 13-7. Game 2, Bin would outplay a dive. Now, the game 2 ended up being 18-4 in favor of BLG. BLG just came back, and, I mean, this happens in a lot of these 3-game series, I'm noticing. The team that might win game 1 and game 3 throws up a complete dud in game 2. And BLG really capitalized on them to even the series. Nevertheless, Bin did a great outplay at 3 minutes. The teams would then trade Drakes like they did in game 1. 12 minutes, BLG would go top lane again and stay there for a while. They got a kill at top at 12 minutes. A minute later, they get a 3-0 team fight win in top lane where Doggo gets a double kill. Then RNG go to top lane to get a kill. So by 14 minutes, there's been 4 different instances of something happening in the top lane. 15 minutes, BLG go bottom lane, 3-2 team fight win, Fofo with a double kill. Then they go to mid lane. First 16 minutes of this game, there is way more action than the first 16 minutes of that game. I mean, I understand, like, the first 12 minutes are eerily similar, but between 12 minutes and 16 minutes, they couldn't have been any different. BLG end up taking a Mountain, and they go and take the Mountain Soul in this game. Similarly to how BLG did not contest these Drakes in game 1, RNG did not contest the Drakes in game 2. So BLG went to Soul Point uncontested. 17 minutes, it's around now, where BLG are up 2.5K gold and are up 8-3 in score. At 25 minutes, this is where the game officially went to BLG pretty much. They won a team fight 4-0. Weiwei and Breathe, both with double kills. which got them in the Baron, which pushed them to a 10K power play. And like I say in every video, when we see a 10K power play, that's pretty much the game. BLG would take a soul, in which case they had a pick to get it. RNG didn't throw all the eggs in to try and stop them. In the end, BLG win the game through bot lane at 30 minutes. Like I said, the final score is 18-4. That game was really decided at that fight at 25 minutes. But BLG's proactiveness in that early to mid-game window really gave RNG something to think about. Game 3, the top lane was an emphasis early again. There was a trade of kills. At 5 minutes, Ben would solo kill Breathe again. So we have two instances where he has solo killed Breathe in the early game. Not only that, he also did an outplay to ensure that he didn't die in the in game 2. And then they had to invest all that effort into stopping him in game 2. BLG would take a mountain on the other side of the rift. There would be a trade of kills in bot lane. At 13 minutes, BLG would take a cloud. Now this is where the game ended up going to RNG. RNG win the fight afterwards 3-0. Ming with a double kill on Nautilus. That turns into RNG going to bot lane, getting another kill a minute later. Now at 15 minutes, they're up 3.5k gold and 7-2. So RNG are starting to run away. And just like I've been saying all series long, the next, at minimum 7 minutes, up to 12 minutes, BLG allow RNG to take 2 back-to-back Infernals with nothing happening. So RNG, are just pulling away with this game. At 25 minutes, they take an uncontested Baron, push their gold lead to 8k, take an uncontested Infernal again. So they took 3 Drakes, 3 Infernal Drakes nonetheless, and a Baron, uncontested, push their gold lead to 8k. 31 minutes, Bin solo kills Weiwei. So Bin once again shows up solo killing Weiwei to take a Baron, and that's the only person that dies. Pushes their gold lead to 10k. They end the game, with a triple kill by Bin a couple minutes later. Final score is 13-3. BLG just rolled over after 13 minutes. After 13 minutes, nothing happened for BLG in game 3. I don't know where they went. They must not have been at their computers because, God knows, I don't know what that was, but that was like throwing the game. Like, you didn't even try. Like, to give away 3 Drakes and 2 Barons and only lose 1 member, you did not, you screwed up somewhere big time, that you ended up deciding that the best course of action was to give all of this away. So, I don't know what that was about. It's going to definitely come up in my power rankings next week. And, in my mind, it's going to have to cross my mind that, BLG are now 3-1. And, they're going to get Uzi back. So, hypothetically, their team will be better. But, unless Uzi is going to make them actually try and fight these objectives, they're going to struggle. Because that's not acceptable. The way that they lost Game 3. Now, onto the LCK. Right, now onto the LCK, like I said. We have 2 3-game series here. We needed to have these series. We did, because we have 2 teams that are close to each other in the power rankings and in records in both cases. This is a real telling 2 series here where we're at, where these teams are at right now. So let's get started. Sandbox and KT. All 3 games were, the first game wasn't close, but the 2 other games were. As you can see by the kill score, the first one's 12-3, so let's get into it, break it down. Rascal solo kills Dove. No surprise, Rascal once again is the best player, arguably, in the game between the 2 teams. KT get a 2v2 kill at 7 minutes. They turn that into a cloud. That gold lead ends up being 3k by 10 minutes. They win a Rift Herald after that. I'm gonna sound kind of nonchalant in going over this because KT just crushed him. It just kind of rolls like a snowball. Eamon gets a double kill in bot to be able to get ahead even farther. They take a Hex Tech off of that. 15 minutes now, they're up 3-0 and 6k gold. 16 minutes, Sandbox would get a pick. At 17 minutes, there's a 1-to-1 team fight in bot. So Sandbox are at least fighting back. They're showing that they have the ability to kind of keep up. But at 19 minutes, the game kind of ends up really moving towards KT and not coming back in a fight and bot where Aiming ended up having a triple kill. So now the AD carry has at least, from what I see here, 5 kills at this point. Sandbox would respond after the reset by taking Drake after a pick. So at 21 minutes, it's 8-3, but KT are up 7.5k gold. So the game is, getting to that point. KT would then go to Soul Point, 26 minutes, Aiming with a double kill again to get the Baron, push their gold lead to 11k, and ended up ending the game off of that Baron. I don't even remember if they reset in that game. Somewhere around in these games today, someone didn't even reset. They just ended. And I think it was that game for KT. It was very, very, just a snowball kind of game. And there weren't a lot of kills. It was just they were getting the advantages in lane and able to get the objectives, and the Sandbox didn't have an answer for them. Game 2, KT started off strong again, getting a kill in bot, winning 2-1 in bot again, where Life had a double kill on set. Now, I said this, I think, yesterday or the day before. You don't want your support getting all the kills. And this was the case for KT in Game 2. Life ends up with a double kill. He had the kill early before that. So now he has 3 kills. Sandbox go bot lane to try and right the ship afterwards. That allows him to take an Infernal. Somebody does something. Aiming does a thing. Aiming does something at 12 minutes. Sandbox ends up getting an Ocean. At 15 minutes, KT are up 4-3, 2k gold, but Life is 3-1-0. 17 minutes, Sandbox goes to bot lane again, gets a kill. KT take a Cloud. Eventually, both teams do go to Soul Point in this game for the Cloud. There's a ton of Clouds taken. It looks like 4. 19 minutes, Sandbox are able to recover. They get a 3-1 team fight win in mid lane, which now puts them ahead at 20 minutes in terms of kills, even gold. Their carry in Ice is 2-0-4 on Aphelios. That turns into Cloud Soul Point. Dove solo kills Rascal at 28 minutes in the Akali-Kennen matchup. Which case, there was a lot of criticism of Rascal in Game 2. He kind of screwed up his build path and kind of screwed the team. 29 minutes, KT would take a Baron after getting a pick. That gives them a 6k gold lead afterwards. So now KT is starting to take this game after it was just tied 10 minutes earlier. KT would win a fight for the Cloud during that Baron, 3-0, Life with another double kill. So now 30 minutes, KT are up 9-7, and Life is 6-2-1. You can't have 6 of your 9 kills on your support, and this ends up being why. KT go to Soul Point, but at 35 minutes, Sandbox win a team fight 3-1 in an important team fight. Ice with a triple kill. Your AD carry has the gold for Sandbox. They're able to take advantage of that. He obviously he's going to overpower the set. The set can't do anything about this. So they take the Baron. In overall, it ends up being 4-2 the fight because it started 3-1. They took the Baron. Then it was 1-1 afterwards. There's a reset. Sandbox end through mid at 38 minutes, 2-0. I'm out of breath. So, classic case of that going on. So, as I do, usually Game 3 is the decider of the MVP. So, Game 3, we had some interesting picks. We had a Fiora, we had an Aurelia, a Rek'Sai, Lee Sin top, Tom Kench. I'm just going over this kind of like this because there's a lot of interesting picks. It's a new patch. So, game starts. Rascal solo kills Dove. No surprise. That turns into a Cloud. Sandbox go to bot lane. Get a kill. There's a skirmish in mid. KT go top lane to get Rascal ahead again. They take a Hex Tech. Sandbox punish them. 15 minutes. Now, this is where the game starts going in the favor of Sandbox. Sandbox gets a kill, a team fight win 2-0 where Closer gets a double kill on Aurelia. And Rascal makes a play to respond to that. That's worth watching because it was like a 3v1 and Rascal was able to overcome it and get a kill. 17 minutes, KT win 2-1 in mid. Sandbox responded a minute later, taking an Infernal off of a pick. Rascal solo kills Dove again. Aiming ends up with a double kill. So now KT's starting to take this game back at 19 minutes. 20 minutes, KT are up 9-7. And Rascal's 5-1-0 on Lee Sin. So similar to game 2, KT are ahead in the mid game. Again, they are clearly ahead. But at 20 minutes, Krakow solo kills Rascal. 21 minutes, Closer solo kills Aiming. Now all of a sudden, Sandbox are getting solo kills. They're coming back in this game. 23 minutes, they win a team fight 3-1 where Closer had a double kill to take a Baron to give themselves a slight gold lead. KT respond by going to Infernal Soul Point. And this is where KT rolls over. Similar to how I just went over for BLG. KT rolls over at 30 minutes. They allow Sandbox to take an Infernal uncontested. So KT said, we'll give it away. We don't want the soul. And then they allow Sandbox to take the Baron uncontested, which ends the game. Because a minute later, Sandbox just go down lane. 4-1 team fight win. End the game. 16-11. Closer's my MVP. That double kill to get the Baron was huge. Solo killing Aiming was huge. He had a double kill earlier. He showed up in this game multiple times for the team. I mean, he played a very good game for them in Game 3 to win the series. Game 2, Series 2, T1 and Red Force. So we have two teams around each other in the standings. Goes 3 games. The first game is weird. The other 2 games are blowout. So let's get started. Game 1, very slow early game. Baron's taken by, not Baron. Ocean's taken by Red Force. T1 win a fight 2-1 in bot lane at 10 minutes. So that's our first kill. Red Force go down there to even it out a couple minutes later and turn that into a mountain. So at 15 minutes, it's 2-2. T1 has a slight 2k gold lead. T1 would take a Drake. Red Force at 22 minutes would get a couple kills in mid in a skirmish, 2-1. T1 would then take another Drake uncontested, and Red Force responded by going 2-0 in mid again. So between 15 minutes and 25 minutes, we had an uncontested Cloud for T1. Red Force win a fight in mid. T1 does again. Red Force does it again. 26 minutes, Owner steals the Baron from Red Force. After Red Force gets those 2 kills in mid, 2-0, 25 minutes, they try and turn that into a Baron. A fight for that goes 1-1. Owner takes it. That gives them a 2.5k gold lead and also puts them at Cloud Soul Point. Eventually, they take the Cloud Soul in this game. So at 30 minutes, Red Force are up 7-4 in kills, but T1 are up slightly in gold, and Ghost is 4-1-2 on Jinx. So he's carrying the game right now pretty much in kills for both teams. 34 minutes. So the next thing happens at 34 minutes, T1 get a pick, take a Baron, and now we're at 5k gold lead. So they're slowly, without even getting kills really, building up a gold lead. Red Force at the same time takes us to go to Soul Point. So they trade objectives. Then, for some reason, Red Force gives T1 the Cloud Soul 5 minutes later. Couldn't tell you why. 41 minutes, T1 take a Baron, uncontested. Are able, and that, once again, we're having an instance in the late game where teams are giving away big objectives and aren't getting anything for it and just roll over. 41 minutes, when T1 takes a Baron, they take 3 inhibs, 6k gold. They've got him 3 inhib now, but T1 are slow playing it. 46 minutes, T1 take an Elder. They end up base racing. That's how Red Force decides to do this. They allow T1 to take the Elder at 46 minutes and then try and base race them when they don't even have inhibitors. So they lost 7-5. Like I said, it's a weird game. Low kill game. 12 kills in 46 minutes. Very odd game. Game 2, very different game. Similar to how I went over with BLG and RNG, for some reason Game 2 ends up being a dud by the team that wins Game 1. Red Force just punches T1 in the mouth in Game 2. They trade kills at 6 minutes in bot. That turns into an Infernal. Red Force get a pick. Turns into an Ocean. Eventually they get a Hextech Soul in this game. 15 minutes, this is where the game really just goes to Red Force and doesn't come back. They get a 5-1 team fight ace. Kana with a triple kill on Akali. T1 would get a pick play shortly after that, but it doesn't really make a difference. Red Force go to Soul Point. 20 minutes are up 8-3. 1.5k gold, but Dread is 4-0-1 on Lee Sin. And Kana is like 4-2-1 on Akali. So all the kills are on the top side of the rift. They would just add 2 more kills to that a minute later. 24 minutes, Owner would steal another Baron, but it ended up not mattering because Red Force won the fight afterwards 4-1. Ghost and Kana with double kills, which next thing they do, they take Hextech Soul. And at 30 minutes, they ace them. Peter with a double kill on Yumi to end the game. 19-5. It wasn't even a real contest at that point. Game 3. So, Game 3. I had trouble picking MVP. I figured, I was like, should it be Gumayushi? I mean, the guy ends up with like 9 kills, 10 kills or something. But I don't think so. Zeus ends up being the MVP, and hopefully I explain why. So, game starts. Red Force goes bot lane, gets a 2v2 kill. T1 respond by going mid. 5 minutes, Zeus outplays a dive. So now, KT have invested all this stuff into top lane, unable to do anything with it. They end up taking a Hextech afterwards. 10 minutes, T1 go up 3-2 in bot lane. That turns into an Infernal, which they had a pick a couple minutes later. Because they have all this priority. T1 ends up with all this priority bot lane. Red Force had tried to go top lane and failed. Red Force get a pick, turn that into a mountain. But at 20 minutes now, it's 6-5 T1. T1 has a 2k gold lead. Then T1 would take a mountain. There would be a skirmish around Baron, which ended up going to nobody. It was even fight. No, both teams reset. It happened a couple times. The Baron dance was quite a while. T1 would take a Soul Point uncontested. 30 minutes, Red Force would take a Baron after getting a pick. So they get a kill. They take the Baron. T1 get there late, get a couple kills, make the Baron useless. T1 actually not only made that Baron useless, but they extended their gold lead to 5k against a Baron, which is really hard to do. Excuse me. 35 minutes, T1 would take a Soul, where they won a team fight 3-1, Zeus with a double kill. Massive double kill for Zeus on Jace. Doing that, getting them the Mountain Soul when the game is close. They set he was able to set the tone early in the game by outplaying that dive, being able to go 1-for-1. 36 minutes, it's 13-8 T1. Gumayushi is 7-2-4. T1 get a pick a minute later to take a Baron, and they ended off of that. Final score is 18-8. Like I said, Zeus is my MVP. I wanted to change it up. I think to myself, that early game was decided by him. By him doing that, all that effort by Red Force kind of went out the window. T1 went bot lane and were able to execute on it, get Gumayushi ahead. And then that fight around Baron, he played a big role. I mean, around Mountain Drake, played a big role in getting them the Soul. This was a... we know where these teams are now. We know T1 is not at Genji's level. I don't think. But they're better than Red Force. So they're in that 2-3 range with Damwon. Maybe arguably Red Force is still in there. I mean, this is one series. Maybe it goes different if they play 5 games. When it comes to this, KT is a mess. By my standards, they are having problems. And Sandbox is a young team that does things like this. They are capable of being 5th. I don't think these guys are here, and that shows on the scoreboard this year. They're not here yet. But in terms of the 5th through 8th, maybe, 9th, DRX has been looking good as of late. Maybe Fred Brianna is out of there, and then it is still 5th through 8th. KT Sandbox. Shoot. Why am I blanking on teams? This is ridiculous. Nevertheless, I mean, I go over this every day. How am I forgetting teams? It's been a long day, 11 games. So we just know that these teams are probably on even footing, which drops KT from these top 4 dogs to a clear distant 5th. So thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Like I said, I do this every day for all 4 major regions. My power rankings are out every day as well. My LCK power rankings came out on Tuesday. My LPL ones came out Monday. LEC yesterday. Hopefully the LCS comes out today, maybe tomorrow. Nevertheless, thank you for watching, and constructive criticism is good criticism.